Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome to the first progress video on my free-to-play Ultimate Iron Man that I created 5 days ago now. It's the 5th day at the beginning of the day. And I didn't record clips of the first day at all. I think I started recording clips maybe on the second day. So I'll give you guys a brief introduction to this account, like what I did at first. And I guess why I created it is just because I was watching some videos of other accounts, like people like Disciple and stuff, who have made ridiculous accomplishments in free-to-play Ultimate Iron Man and free-to-play in general. It just looked kind of cool, so I figured I'd give it a try. I'm not losing any XP on my main account, so I'll keep playing this account as long as I find it fun. I'm not going to force myself to play it if I don't want to. And long-term progress videos may or may not happen very frequently, just because after a certain point, the gameplay could be the same thing for hundreds of hours. Just to get to 85 smithing, for example, might be a goal. But for now, I'm still switching around the stuff I'm doing a fair amount, so I can make some decent progress videos on it. So hope you guys enjoy the series. And so what I did the first day, basically, and I started 34 attack, not bad. What I did the first day basically was just quests. I did all of the quests that are useful for XP. So yesterday I did a whole bunch more questing, but I started off with simple things like Doric's quest and Restless Ghost, Cook's Assistant, Vampire Slayer. And the Knight's Sword is a really good one because it gets you smithing. So I started off with ones that just get you basic levels and should be done before going on to other things. And then after I got those done, I went to the wilderness and started picking up steel plate legs, and I sold those to the store in Al-Kharid to get some GP to start off with. I probably could have done plate bodies. The reason I didn't is because I figured that they'd be really crowded and maybe even PKers there too, and I didn't want to risk that. But I went up there later and there was actually nobody there, at least on the one world that I was there in, but I'll get to that in a bit later. So yeah, that's what I did for starter cash. It's probably the best way to go to get some cash to start off with. And then I used that money to buy runes to train magic. And I trained magic to about 41 at first, and that was enough to get all the teleports unlocked, which is useful. And I killed mostly moss giants, which I don't know if were the best choice, but they dropped some law runes, and they dropped big bones, which is good to get my prayer level up. And I didn't even bother trying hill giants. I just assumed that they're way too crowded, but I probably should have, because they may have been decent. I'll probably try those out in the future, because they drop a lot of nature runes, which could also be quite useful. And so that's most of what I did in day one, I believe. And then after I finished doing 41 magic, I set a goal of getting an Amulet of Strength before I started training my melee stats. So I got 50 crafting, which took somewhere between 10 and 15 hours to get. It's pretty damn slow on a free-to-play Ultimate Iron Man. And I was mining silver in Al-Kharid, then taking it down to the furnace, smelting it, and making it into holy symbols for crafting, and then selling them to the store. And that made me about 130k GP, which I then used to buy more runes mostly, and got myself enough runes for 56 magic. I basically just bought as many casts as seemed reasonable, but I probably won't do any more magic for a long time, because 56 I can easily boost with a Wizard's Mind Bomb to 57 if I want to enchant diamond jewelry, if I ever get the crafting level to make a Amulet of Power. And there's not really anything else useful with magic. I mean, I will get more magic levels in the future, because just from teleports and superheating and stuff like that, but I'm not going to focus on training it at all anymore, I don't think. So for now, I'm going for my melees, getting those up to around 40, and then I'll probably start training ranged. The nice thing about Minotaurs, they drop a lot of iron arrows, so I can use those to train ranged. I've worked long and hard for this moment. Got a 50k cash stack, and it's about to turn into 18k, but the rune pickaxe, PogChamp, got 41 mining, so it's time to get some use out of this thing. Still need to do lots more crafting and smithing to get to 50 for the Amulets of Strength. First real notable milestone on this account is 50 crafting. I can now craft ruby amulets, which means that I can make a strength ammy once I get the magic level to enchant it, and once I get a ruby. So that's really cool, and I've been waiting to do that before I train my melees, just because it makes a really big difference for training your melees, so I figured I'd do that first. It's taken probably around 12 to 13 hours. It's about 8k XP per hour from what I can tell, and I think it was slower before because my mining used to be a lot lower. But yeah, finally hit that, finally done with that, so the next thing I'm going to do is train up my magic, and then I can finally start working on my melees. So we finally got the drop of 3 cosmic runes here, which means I can take off my Amulet of Magic and enchant, or my Sapphire Amulet, enchant it into an Amulet of Magic, which has, I think, plus 10 magic bonus. It does, so that's going to be definitely helpful for the magic DPS. And then the rest of these I can use to make an Amulet of Strength, and then maybe something else if I have something else to make. Alright, so here's 55 magic. It's a nice level to have because I can now use High Alch, which could definitely come in handy for some of the monster drops that I get. And here I should have recorded more of it, but what I did to get a ruby, because I couldn't get one as a drop, is I killed Chaos Dwarves until they dropped a Muddy Key, and then used that to open the Muddy Chest in the Lava Maze. And you have a 100% chance of getting a uncut ruby every time you do that, so if you cannot get a ruby, then you definitely can from getting a Muddy Key, and then using that to open the chest. And what I did is I died in Lumbridge with most of my stuff, and then went up there, because your stuff stays on the ground for an hour. So I just set myself a timer, and if it got to like 50 minutes, I'd go back to Lumbridge, pick my stuff up, and die again until I got the Muddy Key. So that way, if I died in the wilderness from a PKer, then I would only lose like the stuff that I had on me, which was not quite as valuable. Right, it's time for the PogChamp Amulet of Strength. All of the things that I've gone through for this, and we now finally have the Amulet of Strength on the ultimate free-to-play Iron Man. That took a fair amount of time between the crafting and the magic and the deep wilderness adventures. So what I'm going to do now is buy a Myth Scimitar from this dude right here and start actually training some melees at long last. So after getting my melee stats to around 20 and I got attack to 30, I realized that I could do Dragon Slayer with a flinching method, which I'll show you guys in a sec. So I had to get my quest points to 32. I was figuring I wouldn't have to do most of these quests, but I ended up having to. But I still left a few of them, and I probably won't bother doing them. But yeah, got my quest points to 32, so now I can go and attempt to kill Elvarg to get my strength and defense up quite a bit. So there's a nice safe spot for the demon right there, and I flinched Melzar also. There's a safe spot for him as well in the corner. And getting the different map pieces, this room is super cool looking. It's one of the most interesting looking places in RS. And here's the fun journey to Crandor, where your ship gets wrecked. So basically the method with flinching is you just pull it over to this corner, and I was flicking my prayers on and off. My prayer actually lasted quite a while. I was eventually dropping prayer points sometimes when I flicked. I'm not totally sure why. I haven't totally figured out the mechanics of flicking like that yet, but yeah, so at first I had it in this spot, and my character had to run out to, so I was using run energy, so I had to run out again, pull it over, and I was using wines, which drain your attack a little bit, which may not have been the best thing, but wines are really, really good food for if you're using, like, magic or ranged, because they heal 11, they cost 1 GP from an NPC you can buy them from. But yeah, this is what it looks like to flinch Elvarg, and if you do it at low levels, the fight took me between, like, 10 and 15 minutes, but it got me 18k strength and defense XP, which is really, really useful to have. Right, so returning to Oziak, or however the hell you're supposed to pronounce this guy's name. Maybe you say it Oziak or something, I don't know. Either way, quest completed, went straight from 20 strength and defense to 35 strength and defense, which is really, really sick. That saved me so much time. And I'll be able to wear a Runeplate body whenever I happen to get one of those, and also the green D'hide body whenever I happen to get one of those, which will probably be sooner since I'm planning to do a lot of range training in the future. So I did some training at the Minotaurs and got myself 40 attack, which I can now use rune items, which is pretty cool. I can wield my pickaxe, I can wield a rune sword. So I went over to the Champions Guild and decided to spend 20,800 GP, which is kind of a lot. But yeah, there's the rune sword, so that's the best weapon I can get unless I get 90 smithing, or I guess 89 for a rune scimitar. And I did the Christmas event mainly so I could get the reindeer hat, because reindeer hat is quite good to have for fishing and woodcutting. So the Minotaurs is where I'm going to train until I get 40 strength and 40 defense, and then that's where I'm going to leave my melee stats for quite a while. I think that's the plan anyways, because I'm going to mostly be training range, I think. So as far as long-term goals, if I keep playing this account, the main thing I'm going to be doing is working on getting high ranged, and then I might need to do some money making through probably crafting is what I'll do if I need money to buy arrows. But yeah, Minotaurs are great because they don't deal too much damage. They have 10 hit points, which is pretty good since I can max out on them still. I can't hit 10 damage yet. And I've already collected over 2,000 iron arrows, and I should probably have over 3k, maybe even 4 by the time I'm done with 40 strength and defense. So those will last me quite a while of startup ranging. And I probably will train my range here also, actually, because I probably could safe spot them pretty easily and not take much damage, and they drop so many arrows that I could probably be self-sufficient ranging here. But long term, once I get to like 40 ranged, I'm probably going to switch to Ankus, because Ankus drop the most law runes out of anything in free-to-play, I believe. The law runes are useful for training things like smithing, crafting, mining together, because you can teleport close to a furnace, like if you teleport to Falador, and then you can go back to wherever you're collecting resources, and it definitely makes the training faster. And long-term, really that's a gateway into doing smithing, because I'd like to get 85 smithing if I keep playing this account for a long time. That being said, between like doing enough range to get the law runes and getting the actual smithing XP, it would probably take upwards of 1,000 hours to get to 85 smithing, so it won't happen anytime soon. But I think, as long as I still find it fun, I'll keep playing this account alongside my main account, and I'll update you guys on my progress every so often, whenever it seems like I have enough for a decent video. I might keep these videos like, I might make the average one more like 5 minutes and just like a quick discussion on what I've been doing, because I feel like, especially long term, the actual like clips won't really happen that much. Like I'll get levels here and there, but I'll mostly be doing the same things. And what's nice about Ankus is they're going to be quite AFK to do, really. That's what it seems anyways, so it'll be easy to stay focused on my main account, which is still the priority, of course. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the vid. Thanks for watching, and let me know if you have any feedback on this. It'll be sort of just an extra series on the channel that'll pop up every so often. So thanks for watching today, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all later.